Hey there, it's Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. I'm sitting here in my porch in Edmonton on a beautiful January day, and I just wanted to record this video about one of the topics I don't talk about a lot in my workshops, and yet I feel like it's really at the heart of everything, and that's strategy versus tactics. Most entrepreneurs I meet are pretty haphazard and scattered in their plans. There's kind of that low-level panic in the way they go about marketing and promoting themselves. And I'm guilty for that too in a lot of ways. And it's not that great. Most entrepreneurs I know, they just sort of hope things work out. And the first thing I want to suggest is that hope is not a strategy. Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, suggested that the first habit, the most important one, is to begin with the end in mind. Know what it is that we want to be creating before we go about doing it. The old carpenter's rule. We measure twice, we cut once. We're thoughtful about what we do. We're strategic. And if you think of it like a funnel, like a triangle sort of, at the top you've got your vision. Beneath that you've got a strategy of how you're going to achieve that, and then below that you've got all your tactics and tools that you're going to use to in your strategy. And the challenge is, for most entrepreneurs, they are totally stuck at the tactics and tools level. So when they go to workshops, they're like, just tell me what to do, tell me how to do it, give me the nuts and bolts. And yet, those nuts and bolts, if they're used haphazardly in a scattered way, aren't going to produce the kind of result you want. Because that's the question. What is the result you want? And I've got the Niching for Hippies program coming up, and this question about who's your niche, who's your ideal client, your chosen audience, however you want to say it, is such a vital question. And yet most entrepreneurs don't really think about this. And so what they end up with is a lot of clients that aren't really not even a lot of clients, very few clients usually, not enough to sustain them. The clients they do have aren't the quality of the kind of people that they'd really love to hang out with. So I really want to put it in this frame of, when we think about the vision of who do you want to work with, ideally. And most people have never thought this through, and certainly not thought it through in enough depth for it to be very useful. A lot of clients, when I ask them, well, who do you work with? Who are your ideal clients? They're like, well, that's the best part. What I do can help anybody. So then everybody's our ideal client, or vague, really fuzzy statements of people who are stressed, people who are willing to change, people who are going through transitions, really vague stuff. And until there's a real precision in who it is you want to reach, it's going to be really hard with no clear vision to come up with a clear strategy on how to do it. If you're building a house, you've got a vision of the house, you've got the blueprint, and then you've got a strategy on how you're going to build it, and the order and sequence of things that make sense. You wouldn't put the roof before you'd laid the foundation. And then, of course, you've got all the tools and tactics of how you go about building the house. But all of those tools, the hammers, the wrenches, the nails, the boards, are useless without a plan. There's such a burned out adage in the it's such a burned out adage in the personal growth scene. Most people, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, is how it goes. And I think that's really true, as trite as it is. Back in the day, I used to work with Tony Robbins, and he talked about, if you really want to make a change in your life, there are 3 things you have to do. The first thing you have to do is you have to raise your standards. You have to decide that what you've had isn't what you want to have anymore. And so if you're in a place that you don't have the number and quality of clients that you want, to really raise your standards, because it can be easy to play victim. It can be easy to say, well, it's just not working out. I'm hustling, getting my name out there. And it's easy to just blame circumstances and blame the world and never really raise our own standards of, what, I don't want to work with these kinds of people anymore. I want better clients. I want clients that are more fulfilling, that are more engaged, that really resonate with my point of view, that share the same passions that I do. Raising our standards is step number 1. Step number 2 is we've got to question our limiting beliefs about it, because I think a lot of people think, well, that would be great. I would love those kinds of people, but it's not possible. It's just not realistic. It takes so long to do that. And there's so many limiting beliefs that keep people from even trying. Once they've sort of raised their standards, if they don't change that thinking about it, they just go back to where they were. But the third thing that we need to do then is develop a new strategy. If we've got our standards raised and we've questioned our thinking and we're really open to pursuing that, we've got to have a new strategy. and strategy, not just tools and tactics. So the strategy comes from the vision. What do we want to create? And then we think, we have to be thoughtful about this, and we have to slow down. A lot of you know I'm a big fan of this notion of slow marketing. I wrote about it a while ago, and this idea of just slowing things down a lot. And if we're going to really be strategic, we have to slow down and be thoughtful of what's the best way to achieve this. One of my colleagues, Callan Rush, really brilliantly said, never put on an event that you don't have a plan to fill. Because it's really easy to say, okay, I'll do that workshop, I'll put this event on. And to not really have a plan to fill it, and then there's always the last minute panic. There's always the last minute, oh my God, this isn't going to fill, desperately reaching out to everyone. I'll tell you, if you do that a lot, people get tired of it. People get burned out on it. When people do that to you and always come to you in a panic. So we don't want to be running our business in panic in this haphazard, scattered way. We want to be running it, I'm not going to tell you what you want, but there's the possibility of doing it in a way that has you feel really relaxed because you've got a plan, you've got a strategy. And the challenge is this. Some people get this and they say, you're right, I need a strategy. So they come to me and they say, help me build a strategy to get better clients. I say, well, what kind of clients do you want? They say, well, that's the best part. This can help anybody. So help me develop a strategy. Until and unless you are crystal clear on who it is that you want as clients, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to create a strategy because there is no strategy for getting everybody. There is no strategy for filling up all of your events at the last minute. Strategy usually happens over a longer period of time. And here's the plus of strategy, by the way. Anyone can go to workshops and learn a bunch of tactics and tools. That's easy. Anyone can do that. And it's really easy to copy. You could write an ad and somebody could rip that off who does what you do. So tactics and tools are pretty easy to copy. But what's really hard to copy is a strategy, because a strategy is an integrated thing. It's a series of steps that you do. That's much harder to copy because the strategy is going to be tailored to you. It's going to be tailored to what exactly you want, the kind of clients that you want to have. So I think that's it. Yeah, so, as the Boy Scouts say, be prepared. So strategy versus tactics, that's the main thing I want you to be thinking about here. Are you being strategic in the way that you're building your business, or are you being scattered? Are you being all over the place? Are you operating from a place of really building a series of steps and systems to consistently get you the results that you want in your business? Or are you just kind of winging it all the time? And if you're winging it, I was going to come up with some great metaphor about flying or something. Let's pretend I made that metaphor. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.